How's it going, everyone? What I have with me today is a Tfight 305. I don't get Tecnifibre rackets that often. That's why I figure I'd get it on video. The guy's not from close by, so he'll be like waiting around. He's gonna go grab some food or something. I'm gonna try to get this done as soon as I can. I have to redo my outro, my intro. It's a good thing I already had a cup of coffee this morning. Oh, I do see that he put lead tape on it. East Brunswick area, so. I have a WeChat group. It's called Neighborhood Tennis. I add some of my customers in there in case they want to look for like hidden partners and whatnot. So I add them in. So here's the racket. He's as you can see, he's out of lead. Oh, 3 and 9 and 12 o'clock. Let's see. Well, if he does that, I'll measure the swing weight for him. What the heck? I'll do that real quick, but I'm not sure about the rest of the spec. And another thing I noticed is these wider plastics on these grommet faces. That's really good. It protects the grommet from the tie-offs, start knots and tie-off knots. Okay, now I gotta look up what tension he wants. So he wants razor soft at 48 pounds in the mains. Got a whole reel of it. He said he got it on discount. Okay, this racket has 8 grommet holes in the throats. So we'll put through this strings from the head. I see this razor soft is a round string, 17 gauge. I don't mind pre-stretching this first string because that normally comes out lower than the one with the anchor clamp on it, so the more time that I spend pre-stretching that string, the higher the tension it gets to balance out the pair. Okay, and otherwise it's just 48 pounds set on the tension head without pre-stretch. I've never played with any Tecnifibre rackets before, but just seeing the design of these grommet holes with almost like a plastic cap from the inside, that's great design. Makes you want to try it. And the racket looks it's white, looks plain, but then it has a good smooth finish that makes it look more solid. Yeah, for stringers out there, how often do you get tips from your customers? I mean, I get tips from time to time. Some customers, they're pretty generous when you're least expected. Sometimes I get like, I mean, it's rare occasion that I get a $5 tip, but some of these more generous customers, they give me like a $10 tip. Makes you want to do a more thorough job for them instead of lower quality. Quick job, you know. Yeah, he said that these don't last that long. Yeah, the way these strings feel in my hand, they're kind of soft and easily kinked. But hey, if it brings the player the type of comfort that they're looking for, you know, that's great. Some people prefer more crisper strings. Give them more feedback in the hands, so they feel more confident during ball strike. Whereas softer strings, it pockets the ball more, feels more plush, so there's more protection for arms and joints. Man, it may not affect young people that much, but hey, for us oldies, protecting the arms and joints are important, because that makes a difference as to whether or not we keep playing into our 60s and 70s even. I'm only gonna measure the swing weight on his racket, because he says that other one is for his friend, so I'm not gonna waste time on it. It does take a lot of time. Alright, finally. Woo! Cut barely enough. I was just telling him that the way I cut my strings, I get 17, sometimes 18 string jobs out of a reel. But I didn't know that he has an 18 mains racket. So with 18 mains, I don't think he could get even 17. For every racket, it will require about, what is this? Yeah, one extra main, so it requires about 1.5 to 2 foot extra length of string. It is what it is. He wants this X1 5-phase, which is really good multi-filament. Crosses at 50 pounds. It's good that somebody like this, he gives me the exact strings he's using and with the exact tension, so I don't even have to think about it, and his tensions all make sense. pounds extra in the crosses. That's the way he prefers it. It's good sense. I'm only gonna use half of this pack, so that's why I put it on the handle, just in case I need to coil it back up and put it back in a package for him. He's doing this at 50 pounds, and I'm not going to, well, I'm going to pre-stretch it because 50 pounds is a bit low. So I'm gonna pre-stretch it by 15%. This way I won't pre-stretch it with hand then. In the interest of time, I'll just use 15% machine pre-stretch. I don't think that's beyond reason. That's why it's good to put everything in the database on what you do each time. This way, next time the same guy comes, same racket or strings, you have reference. I'm not gonna put pre-stretch amount on his label because that'll sometimes open up to unnecessary discussion. It's just something internal that I decided to do, but I want to make sure that once I do something once for the player, if he gives me the same setup the next time, I want to be consistent and do it with the same method that I did before. So I'll mark 15% pre-stretch on the notebook. I don't use a computer so far, so this way I'll refer back to the date and his name, and I also put a label on his racket so I could easily refer to it next time by date in my notebook. And I'll do the exact same way. So why do I decide to pre-stretch this one and not others? My personal rule of thumb is that for soft strings, string gut, multi-filament, natural gut, if the reference tension is less than 55 pounds, I pre-stretch it by 10% by default. In addition to a manual pre-stretch with it wrapped around the pole, I pull it with my arm with just good even pressure without stretching the heck out of it, because that removes the whole playable lifespan of the string. You know, just ever so slightly get rid of the coil memory plus a little bit more. And so after that's done, I set my machine to 10% pre-stretch. Only if the reference tension is 50 below 55 pounds, so meaning 54 or below. If it's 55 or above, I don't do it. You might do something different, you know. You might always do it, you might always not do it. It's just a personal preference. But at the end of the day, be consistent with what you do with your customers. That's why record keeping is such an important task. black caps on the grommet hole. I don't know what you call them. Things tying off so much quicker. You don't have to look for a bigger hole. It's already marked off with these nice and big black caps. The one thing about this guy is that he texted me like past midnight last night. These young kids, I tell you. I guess, and I got my business hours posted online, like from 9:30 to 5:30. I guess they don't go by that these days. I'm like getting texts from people in the evenings, like this guy after midnight. Luckily, I was up like browsing, watching YouTube before I go to sleep. So I actually replied to him. I said, yeah, He asked me if I can string at 10 o'clock in the morning for him. So I thought about it. I was like, yeah, why not? It's business, so. So it was nice. He's like, do you have a queue lined up? I'm like, no, I don't. Just got done finishing up with 2 rackets this morning for another customer. Left it outside for him to pick it up. That's the thing with the temperature these days. It's this whole week we're almost below freezing the whole week in the 20s. So I think the highest is in the 30s on Wednesday. So I can't leave these rackets out there for too long. If they don't show up, I often bring them in. I hate it when, like this other guy, his kid, like over the weekend, his kid ended up breaking the racket in the middle of the match, and he texted me. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like tomorrow morning," and I'm already stringing 1 racket for him. He's like, "What's the earliest I can pick it up in the morning?" I'm like, I prefer that you pick it up tonight. He's like, "Oh, tonight is too late." He's like, "Well, how about you just leave it outside? And I'll come early morning pick it up." I'm like, well, okay. I thought about it. I'm like, because I ship fish. I have these heat packs that'll stay hot, stays warm. It raises the ambient temperature by 10-15 degrees. So I said, I need to put some heat packs with it, and I'll leave it outside. And he changes his mind. He's like, could you leave it outside at 8 o'clock in the mornings so we don't have to worry about heat packs? Like he's like want to make decisions for me when in fact I don't get up at 8 o'clock. In order for me to leave it outside at 8 o'clock, I gotta get up at 7:30. I gotta get up at 7:30 or 7:45 the earliest. That means I lose an hour of my sleep. Sure enough, that's exactly what I did for him. And guess what? It was a Sunday. Yeah, I had a Sunday tournament, an indoor tournament, USDA tournament. I played for 4.0 tournament. And because I was tired from not having enough sleep, I ended up losing to the guy that I had a very good chance of winning. I ended up losing to him 8-6 in a fast 8 format. But what are you gonna do? Those are the sacrifices that I make for my customers, and he's not just anybody. He brings me rackets. Like his kid seems to break rackets like every 2 or 3 weeks. So if it was any other customer, I'd say no. So and that guy's been using Hypergy 16 gauge. And he's only like, I think he's only like 14 years old. And he's breaking 16 gauge, 125 gauge strings too quick. I mean, I used to string like hybrid for him with a single and a cross, like in the last couple of years, and then this recent year, he's moved out to a full bed of Hypergy 16L, and he's breaking that too quickly now. So the latest string that I put on one of his racket is the Cylingo Tfight in the 16 gauge. Let's see how much time that buys him. I think Tfight comes in, or Cylingo strings comes in maximum 15L gauge. I don't know if every one of their strings come in that thick of a gauge. I hope that he'll be satisfied with the 16 gauge, because I would hate to move him to 15L. Like, you're talking about rocking the Dow gauge. Who does that? Well, apparently, to some people, it's needed. So yeah, overcut the string by 1.5 feet. That's okay. It comes out of a 40-foot pack, that is. like doing these multi-filament hybrids because they end up trapping your main strings in, making them all crooked. I'm spending more time adjusting, straightening out these strings than anything. Good thing is that the crosses stay pretty straight. I always make sure the ones in the sweet spot stays the straightest. The rest should follow. Let's get this balance. .4. That's 6 points headlight. I have to cut this video out because I would need my phone in order to measure with the SW1 app.